What's good, family? So mash that like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So we got some breaking news right now regarding your mans Javonta, Tank Davis, and Rolly Romero. Listen, Rolly Romero punking off. Tank, listen, Tank a bully. That's what he says. Yeah, Rolly Romero says that Tank, he a bully, he loved fighting small dudes, and I can't lie to you. Well, we all know. Let's call a spade here. Tank does love, he dragged up Leo Santa Cruz from 120, soaking wet. He fought that Pitbull cat. To be fair, Pitbull, he alright. He was alright still. He actually probably gave Tank his hardest fight. But he's still small fry. Yeah, and that's what happens, you see, when you're managed by Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather loved doing funny style fights. He loved dragging Canelo Alvarez down to 152 pounds. He loved doing all that extra stuff. That's your man Floyd, 100%. But anyway, let's get you the quotes here. From your man's Rolly Romero. Yeah, Romero. I don't think Tank is as a big of puncher as people think. He bullies small dudes. Yeah, it's peak for Tank right now. Yeah, it's peak for Tank. It's peak for Tank Davis. He ain't no Tank. Yeah, a Tank wouldn't be dragging up small dudes. A Tank would be going in there. In fact, a Tank would have fought for a world title already. Let's be real now. What world titles has Tank fought for at 135? Don't no one know. He ain't fighting for no titles. What's the guy doing? Seriously, what's he doing? Because we know Haney and Kambosos, they're fighting for titles. So it begs the question, what are they doing with Tank? I've never seen the thing about Team Mayweather, yeah? They're always running some weird, goofy scam where it's a world, it's some sort of, because you, no word of a lie, when you watch Tank fights, when you watch Javonta Tuck Davis fights, yeah, you'd think it was for some world title, wouldn't you? The whole event and whatever else, the Showtime or whoever's the Fox build-up. But then in reality, we know Kambosos has 3 belts, and we know Haney has 1. So what are these events? Oh well, it's a WBC. So it's weird. And Tank slagged off Floyd, but we're gonna find out after this fight what Tank does. I think Tank full of woof, to be honest with you. Tank moaning, but really he's happy getting paid 1 mil, 2 mil to fight small dudes and fight bumps, just like Rolly Romero says. And I'm not gonna listen. I watched some sparring footage the other day. I watched some footage of Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero gave him the beats. That's a fact. He come to fight. So I'm not saying I think he's going to beat Tank, but listen, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Yeah, based on the fact that Tank's fought so many bums, I believe he deserves to lose to Romero. I believe that. I'm sorry, I just do. Because historically speaking, when you fight bums for so long, normally what happens is you end up slipping up. I'm trying to think of examples, but time and time again, yeah, people duck all the big fights and then they end up getting their packs smoked by some random dude no one expected. That always happens. Or we're always waiting for a big fight. For example, it wouldn't surprise me if, for example, Errol Spence ends up losing to Ugas, because that's what always happens. Just when we're about to get a big fight, these guys get beat by some bums. It's a bit like AJ and Ruiz. Even though, to be fair to AJ wasn't fighting bums, but still, he went in there with Ruiz and got his pack smoked. Now, I'm not saying that Romero is Andy Ruiz, but listen, Andy Ruiz missed a blobby. I mean, no discipline have an ass. And to be fair, like I said, go and watch Rolly Romero sparring with Ryan Garcia. He gave him the beats. Yeah, he knocked his pretty ass back to LA with a fire bitches. That's what he did. Yeah, he made Ryan want to go all the way back to LA and be chilling with some fire bitches. He thought, damn, I'm not trying to be doing this boxing stuff. I want to be back in LA with the fire things I've got there, 100%. Anyway, like I said earlier, let me give you the quotes here from Rolly Romero. He said, listen, Tank, I don't think he's as of a bigger puncher as people think. I think he just bullies a bunch of small dudes and weight-drained opponents like Pedraza and Barrios. Wow! And small dudes like Santa Cruz. A torn Achilles Gamboa, that 122-pounder he fought on Showtime. So I don't think he's that big of a puncher. I think he's just explosive and gets these small, old, weight-drained, Achilles heel broken asses that stand there in front of him and they're smaller than him. So I mean, it's only obvious that he's going to knock them out. Wow. And this is the truth, people, yeah? Because I've got to be honest, I don't rate Josh Taylor. And I think probably Tank probably knock him out now anyway. But at the time, why didn't Tank go up to 140? Why is Tank always ducking and dodging? It's weird. He's always trying to get free clout points. For example, when he went up to 140, who did he fight? Was it Barrios? I don't know. He fought some bum at 140. Rather than go up to 140 and say, you know what? I can't get any fights at 135, which is a lie. But even, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go up to 140, fight a bum, and then I'm going to take on Josh Taylor. He ain't do that. What Tank's career's always done is that he kind of dots around, not doing anything of any substance. But it always looks like he's busy. Oh, well, I'm here. Oh, well, I'm there. I'm here. I'm there. All over the place, but doing nothing. Do you understand? He's always in a fight, but it's a nothing fight. Never for a belt. Never anyone relevant. He doesn't even fight. The thing is, he don't even fight has-beens. He fights nobodies. It's mad. So in a way, it's all well and good slagging off Mayweather, yeah. But like I said before, we can all slag Mayweather off. But and up until now, you've never heard Tank moaning when he's been in there with all these blown up, weight drained, injured dons. He's never made no qualms about it. Yeah? So, yeah, I give Floyd some responsibility, but Tank has been happy staying out of the cut. Bottom line. How do we know this well? Why hasn't Tank? Fair enough, yeah. It's all well and good if Tank was critical of Mayweather. If we'd have heard him saying things, just mentioning some names. Let's be real now. Since Tevin Farmer, which by the way, that fight didn't happen. Oops. And I'm sorry, I don't believe it was Tevin who didn't make that fight happen. I don't believe it was Tevin who didn't make that fight happen. Yeah, it was Tank. Because guess what? Tevin, whether he's lost or not's irrelevant. Tevin has gone in there with decent people. He's fought for belts. He's defended belts. He's lost belts. Something your man, no discipline having ass Tank, Tuk has never done. So like I was saying, it's all well and good blaming Floyd, but when has Tank gone out of his way to say, you know what, I want this guy? Floyd, get me this guy. Oops. You've never heard Tank once call a name out and say, Floyd, get me this guy. Like I said, fair enough, yeah. If Tank had been out for the last few years saying, I want Haney, I want this guy, I want Tio, I want Josh Taylor, make it now, Floyd, and then the fight doesn't happen, we can blame Floyd. But you ain't heard that. Instead, you've heard Tank and all of his goofy team talking about, oh, well, we're going up to 140 and we're the real champions at 140. All this weird, zesty, Leonard Snouterby acting ass behaviour. Yeah, big snout having ass. Big bulbous snout. Yeah, big round bulbous snout. 65-year-old wannabe gangster looking ass. Anyway, listen. I really do hope, I'd love for this to be a banana peel for Tank, for Tuk Davis. Even though I think he's one of the most talented fighters. I don't care how talented you are. I'm not no man fan. And in terms of what Tuk Davis deserves, he deserves to get his wig split by Rolly Romero. And then again, to be fair, what's Rolly Romero done? Although he doesn't have the clout or the pull, does he? Let's be real now. Yeah, it's not like Rolly Romero, even if he wanted them big fights, he can't force them. Tank was privileged, or Tank, whatever way you look at it, Tank's in a position to make them fights. Big pay-per-view shows. No one's ducking Tank. Everyone wants a Tank fight. But yet, he happy, and this has been the case since 2015. Floyd Mayweather have been saying, oh man, you know, Lomachenko, he old, and we don't need Loma. And Tank just sat there saying nothing. At the time, a lot of us let him off and said, well, he's young. But 7 years later, we're still not hearing nothing out of Lomachenko, even though he's been beat by youngers. Tio is a younger to Tank. Devin is a younger to Tank, and they want that smoke. And that's why I'm done with this guy, Tank. The best thing for him would be to get beat. so we can get rid of this whole Floyd Mayweather narrative. Get beat, and then Floyd will drop you, and then you can go back to the grind pot. Sometimes these guys need a good old loss. Because after a loss, it goes one of two ways. You either end up like Adrian Broner, and you're washed and finished, or you realise that it's time to get serious. So I respect. Listen, obviously they're in a fight, they're trying to promote the fight, but I respect Rolly Romero for airing out this dude, because not enough people have done it. And Rolly Romero talking facts. Yeah, you fight bums, you fight old bums, you fight small bums. You fight injured bums. You love fighting bums. That's your man, Tank Javonta Tuck Davis. Little Tuck buggy having ass. That's what you is. You ain't no tank. Yeah, a tank wouldn't be in there with a bunch of zesty dudes with no belts. The level Tank is now with the experience. Tank's been boxing professionally since he was like 16. How can you be 10 years into your career and you haven't had one headline fight? He hasn't. Whenever he had a belt, he nicked a belt somewhere off some random dude. Tank's never been in a headline fight. It's always been a Tank versus some B-level dude. It's embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed to be Tank. Although people say, well, he's got a load of coin, which he does. But like I said, you can have all the coin you want. You ain't got no integrity. That's what you ain't got. Oops. 100%.